Trump just did a press conference, and apparently now he's pissing off Cuba, threatening them. Maybe that'll be next. I don't know, man. I feel like Trump is going to go knocking door to door, knocking off some, demonic dictator once a week. Just, keep everyone on their toes. The Bible talks about giving tithes. Well, Trump tithes are going to be monthly capture of random world leaders that he doesn't like. And I support it. America first. America first. So Trump tweeted this after capturing Maduro. The United States of America successfully carried out large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who had been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with the U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. And the news conference just happened, so we're going to be watching it together. This is easily one of the most wild things ever. And honestly, it's just fantastic news all around. I'm going to be doing another video on this tomorrow. The leftist crash outs have got to be some of my favorite ever. The White House tweeted, Operation Absolute Resolve with the goats in the photo, bro. The goats are all here. It's crazy, bro. It's actually insane that we're living in this timeline. America could really just do things. Like, the government could just, do things, man. It would be great. Regime change in Iraq had 150,000 troops, hundreds of neocon war planners, $3 trillion, 4,431 heroes killed in action. Regime change in Venezuela, 1 platoon of Delta Bros, raid planned by Barron and Marco Rubio from a Mar-a-Lago pool cabana yesterday. Cost of a few tanks of JP-8 helicopter fuel and a 6-pack of Diet Coke for Trump. 0 casualties. Trump is just better at the game. This really gets me to think about how much money, time, and lives we've wasted in wars around the world when, Trump you could literally just do things. And I know, I keep seeing people, oh my God, he's only doing it for oil. And do you have a problem with that, bitch? You have a problem with that? Just in, a proposal has been made to make Venezuela America's 51st state. Bro, what are we doing? What is this timeline? For the first time in years, the Democrats are opposed to a Venezuelan criminal entering our country. Absolute cinema, man. We send all our Somalians to Venezuela. Hear me out, folks. There's a lot of things we could do. Obviously, Zohran Mamdani, communist mayor of New York, is having a crash out. I can't believe Nicolas Maduro unilaterally attacking a sovereign nation is an act of war and a violation of federal and international law, says the guy who wants to arrest Netanyahu. But again, that's just epic foreshadowing for my forthcoming Zohran Mamdani video because he's already making New York worse. He's been a mayor for 3 days. New York is already worse. Like every communist regime. So yeah, anyway, 2026, year of the crusade. We could actually just do things. That's my motto now. We could do things. Governor is breaking the law over there. Arrest that motherfucker. All right? Communist dictator flooding our country with drugs. Arrest that motherfucker. Nation in the Middle East is developing nuclear weapons that they directly say they want the death of America. Neutralize those motherfuckers. No boots on the ground. No American soldiers dead. Thank God. We're the most powerful country in the world, and we're acting like it. You can just do things. If you want to see my full take on the Maduro capture, you should watch my previous video, but we got to watch this press conference. He just gave it right now. It literally just ended 5 minutes ago. Oh my God, it's so much loud. So much talking. Wow. The orange man really did sell his cloak and buy a sword.
Late last night.
All right, baby, here we go. It's getting good.
Early today.
Very early, very late.
At my direction, the United States Armed Forces.
All right.
Conducted an extraordinary military operation.
Absolute cinema.
In the capital.
Great
of
news.
Venezuela.
Woo! Let's go! Let's go!
Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault.
Love that.
And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II.
Oh, shit. Bro just rolled in.
It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas.
Bro, they got their air defense from Iran. That's true, by the way. Iran, who got obliterated last time.
The most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence.
America.
In American history.
America. Golden age, baby.
And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones, like the attack on Soleimani.
True. Died like a dog.
The
beautiful dog.
Attack on al-Baghdadi.
Also died like a dog.
The obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites.
Dude, this guy's
just
good.
Recently,
he's good. You can do things.
In an operation known as Midnight Hammer.
Oh, yeah.
All perfectly executed and done. No nation in the...
I did Operation Midnight Hammer, and then I came home to Melania and did Midnight Hammer again.
In just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military working with U.S. law enforcement successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night.
He's a dog.
It was
Bug him.
Dark.
It was dark. Yeah.
Lights of Caracas were largely turned off.
Yeah, it was night. Night,
due
dark.
to a certain expertise.
I'm very happy about this. Can you tell? Can you tell how happy I am about this?
It was dark.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Deadly.
Dictator. Murdering his own
captured
people.
along with his wife,
Ha!
Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice.
W.
Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York.
Love that.
Jay Clayton.
W.
For their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States.
Fuck them.
And its
They tried to kill us? Get rid of them.
I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence.
Love that.
You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment.
Under Biden.
If you look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to
Syria,
the Jimmy Carter days, they were different days.
Dude, Trump's just built different.
A respected country again, maybe like never before. These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting for us. They knew we had many ships out.
Yeah, he did teleprompt this, you know.
Just sort of waiting.
He said it was happening.
Coming.
And it happened.
So they were in a what's called a ready position.
Didn't matter.
But they were completely overwhelmed.
Powerless before American
very quickly
might.
Incapacitated.
That's right, baby.
If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed.
Thank God.
And not a single piece of American equipment was lost.
No shot.
Many helicopters, many planes,
Iran air defense.
Many people involved in that fight. But think of that, not one piece of military
Iran's air
equipment was
defenses
lost,
couldn't stop Israel.
Service member was more importantly killed. The United States military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far. With capabilities and skills our enemies can scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world.
And now we have a lot of oil.
There's no equipment like what we have, and you see that.
Free a nation.
If you just look at the boats, you know,
make trillions in oil.
97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90%. Each boat kills on average 25,000 people. We knocked out 97%.
Love that.
And those drugs mostly come from a place called Venezuela.
W. It really is. Like anyone that doesn't see this as America first is retarded. This is the most America first military operation possible.
And so we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe,
we conquered Venezuela. What the? Mixed feelings on that, not gonna lie. I would rather them kind of figure that shit out themselves. 51st state. 51st state. Let's do it. I mean, I get where he's coming from. You don't want a power vacuum bullshit. But I'm hesitant.
Can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it essentially until such time as a proper transition can take place. As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
Those guys were bad. Now we have lots of oil.
Ready to stage a second and much larger attack if
I guess, but
we need to do so. So we were prepared to do a second wave if we needed to do so. We actually assumed that a second wave would be necessary, but now it's probably not.
We
the
thought
first
you could put up a fight.
Wave, if you'd like to call it that. The first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually.
Oh, God.
This was pinpoint, but we have a much bigger wave that probably won't have to do. This partnership of Venezuela with the United States of America, a country that everybody wants to be involved with because of
we're
what
getting
we were
allies.
able to do and accomplish.
Wow, another ally all of a
will make the
sudden.
people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe.
Yeah, and not
it will also make the many, many people from Venezuela that are living in the United States extremely happy. They suffered.
2026.
So much was taken from them.
Year of the Crusade.
They're not going to suffer anymore.
The
illegitimate dictator
guys?
Maduro
Why
was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal amounts of deadly and illicit drugs into the United States. As alleged in the indictment, he personally oversaw the vicious cartel known as Cartel de las Solas, which flooded our nation with lethal poison, responsible for the deaths of countless Americans. The many, many Americans, hundreds of thousands over the years of Americans died because of him. Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial
this dude's a monster.
on American soil. Right now, they're on a ship they'll be heading to.
Everyone hated Trump for being a dictator.
New York.
Now he captures an actual
dictator. And then a decision will be made,
everyone loses their
soon
mind.
Between New York and Miami or Florida. But we have people where the overwhelming evidence of their crimes will be presented in a court of law. And I've seen it. I've seen what we have. It's both horrible and breathtaking that something like this could have been allowed to take place.
Yeah.
For many years after his term as president of Venezuela expired, Maduro remained in power.
Yeah, by
and
killing
waged
his
a ceaseless campaign of violence, terror, and subversion against the United States of America, threatening not only our people, but the stability of the entire region. And you all saw it. In addition to trafficking gigantic amounts of illegal drugs that inflicted untold suffering and human destruction all over the country, all over in particular the United States, Maduro sent savage and murderous gangs, including the bloodthirsty prison gang Tren de Aragua, to terrorize American communities nationwide. And he did indeed. They were in Colorado. They took over apartment complexes. They cut the fingers off people if they call police.
Yeah.
They were brutal.
Yeah. Fuck those guys.
They're not so brutal
That's my
now.
hot take.
And I just have to congratulate our military, Pete, and everybody, and our National Guard.
Yeah.
Because the job that they've done, whether it's in Washington, D.C., where we have a totally safe city, where it was one of the most unsafe cities
I like a regime change war, all right, that starts and finishes before my morning shit, okay?
Haven't had a killing.
That's
we had
what I want to see.
Terrorist attack a few weeks ago. A little bit of a different kind of a threat. But we haven't had a killing in a long period of time, 6-7 months. We used to have 2.
6-7.
On average, 2 a week.
Bro,
in Washington,
start laughing when he
we don't have that anymore.
Fuck, dude. We're so
the restaurants are opening. Everyone's happy. They're going. They're walking their daughters. They're walking their
just do things.
Children, their wives. They walk to Restaurants are opening all over Washington, D.C.
Now do this everywhere.
So I want to thank the National Guard. I want to thank our military. And I want to thank law enforcement.
All over.
They've been amazing. And they should do it with more cities. We're doing it, as you know, and we're doing it in Memphis, Tennessee right now, and crime is down. We've just sort of started a few weeks ago, but crime is down now 77%. And the governor of Louisiana called, great person, and he wanted us to help him, as you know, in a certain very nice part of Louisiana, and we have done that. And it was a rough section, and we have crime down. I understand it's down to almost nothing already after 2.5 weeks. New Orleans, it's down to almost nothing, and we've only been there for 2.5 weeks. Can't imagine why governors wouldn't want us to help. We also helped, as you know, in Chicago.
Right, to be fair.
Crime went down a little bit there.
And then they stopped him because they're pro-crime. So arrest the governor. Arrest the mayor.
Working ability with the governor.
That's right.
The governor was a disaster, and the mayor was a disaster. But
yeah, so arrest them.
Knocked down crime.
Do
but we're pulling out of there when they need us.
We'll
know. You'll know. You'll be writing about it.
He obstructs justice?
And
arrest
likewise,
that bastard.
Los Angeles, where we saved Los Angeles early on, where the head of the police department
send the Delta Force into Minnesota.
If the federal government didn't come in, we would have lost Los Angeles. That's long after the fires. That's when they had the riots in Los Angeles. We did a great job. Got no credit for it whatsoever, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. We don't need the credit. But we'll be pulling out when they need us. They'll call, or we'll go back if we have to. We'll go back. But we did a great job in various cities. But the place that we're very proud of is Washington, D.C., because it's our nation's capital. We took it from
do it everywhere.
Being a crime-ridden mess.
It doesn't matter what they say.
To
it doesn't matter what
one of the safest cities in the country.
Just
but the gangs that they sent raped, tortured, and murdered American women and children.
Yeah.
They were in all of the cities I mentioned. Yeah. Tren de Aragua. And they were sent by Maduro.
That's right.
To terrorize our people.
That's right.
And now Maduro
will
never
man. That guy
again
was
be able
bastard.
to threaten an American citizen or anybody from Venezuela. There will no longer be threats. For years I've highlighted the stories of those innocent Americans whose lives were so heartlessly robbed by this Venezuelan terrorist organization. Really one of the worst. One of the worst. They say the worst.
Leftists are defending this guy,
Americans
by the way.
Like 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungari from Houston. Beautiful Jocelyn.
Horrible.
Nungari, what happened to her? They, as you know, they kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered by Tren de Aragua animals. They murdered Jocelyn and left her dead under the bridge. There was a bridge.
Yeah, I remember the story. What a nightmare.
A bridge that will never be the same to so many people after seeing what happened. As I've said many times, the Maduro regime emptied out their prisons, sent their worst and most violent monsters into the United States to steal American lives.
And all the Muslim countries are like talking about how
mental
dare you do such a thing, Trump?
Killing people. They came from prisons and jails.
Unbelievable.
The reason I say both, they sound similar.
I'm not even joking.
Prisons,
I'm serious, actually.
A little bit more hostile, a little bit tougher. A mental institution isn't as tough as an insane asylum, but we got them both. They sent from their mental institutions. They sent from their jails, prisons. They were drug dealers. They were drug kingpins. They sent everybody bad into the United States.
Yeah, and somehow we shouldn't do anything about it.
We have now a border where nobody gets through. In addition, Venezuela unilaterally seized and stole American oil.
Dude, we need
American
some no kings
assets
protests.
And American platforms.
Bro, Trump literally just removed the king.
Billions and billions of dollars.
Guys? Come on, dude.
They did this a while ago, but we never had a president that did anything about it. They took all of our property. It was our property. We built it. And we never had a president that decided to do anything about it. Instead, they fought wars that were 10,000 miles away.
Yep.
We built Venezuela oil industry with American talent, drive, and skill, and the socialist regime stole it from us during those previous administrations, and they stole it through force. This constituted one of the largest thefts of American property in the history of our country. Considered the largest theft of property in the history of our country. massive oil infrastructure was taken like we were babies, so we didn't do anything about it. I would have done something about it. America will never allow foreign powers to rob our people or drive us back into and out of our own hemisphere. That's what they did. Furthermore, under the now deposed dictator Maduro, Venezuela was increasingly hosting foreign adversaries in our region and acquiring menacing offensive weapons that could threaten U.S. interests and lives. And they used those weapons last night. Potentially in league with the cartels operating along our border. All of these actions were in gross violation of the core principles of American foreign policy, dating back more than 2 centuries. And not anymore. All the way back, it dated to the Monroe Doctrines. And the Monroe Doctrine is a big deal. But we've superseded it by a lot, by a real lot. They now call it the Donroe Document. I don't know. It's Monroe Doctrine.
Dude doesn't stop.
We sort of forgot about it.
This is crazy,
It's very important,
man.
But we forgot about it. We don't forget about it anymore.
Don't forget
Under
things.
our new national security strategy, American dominance in the Western Hemisphere.
I like it.
Will never be
that's
questioned
right.
again.
That's right.
Won't
Absolutely.
happen.
We're America,
So
strongest
just
country.
in concluding, for decades, other administrations have neglected or even contributed to these growing security threats in the Western Hemisphere. Under the Trump administration, we are reasserting American power in a very powerful way.
Peace through strength, baby.
In our home region.
That's right.
And our
They're
home
trying to
region
kill
is
us.
very different
You
than it
fucked them.
was just a short
Absolute
while ago.
cinema.
The future will be, and we did this in my first term. We had great dominance in my first term, and we have far greater dominance right now. Everyone's coming back to us.
He's right,
The future
though,
will
for the
be
record.
determined by the ability to
Everyone's crying.
protect commerce and
communist dictator
territory and
alone.
resources that are core to national security.
Don't hurt my
These
drug
are
lords.
core to our national security.
He's right.
Just
True.
like tariffs are, they've made our country rich, and they've made our national security strong.
Yeah, dude,
than
everyone's
ever
crying
before.
about this. They're all retarded, man.
But these
I'm
are
sorry.
the iron
I don't
laws
care.
that have
That's my
always
stance. You're
determined
retarded.
global power.
Facts.
And
He's right.
we're going to keep it that way. We will secure our borders. We will stop the terrorists. We will
Mass
crash the
deportation.
cartels, and we will defend our
Mass deportation.
citizens against all threats, foreign and domestic.
And Somali.
Other presidents may have lacked the courage or whatever to defend America.
We
But
need
I will
more
never
leering
allow
centers
terrorists and
immediately.
criminals to operate
Give us
with
more leering
impunity
centers,
against the
goddammit.
United States. This extremely successful operation should serve as warning to anyone who would threaten American sovereignty or endanger American lives.
Lear your
Very
lesson.
importantly, the embargo on all Venezuelan oil
Oh, what a
remains
great
in
day.
full effect. The American Armada remains poised
That's it, baby.
in position.
American
and the United
Empire.
States retains
Love
all
it.
military options until
we
United
are.
States demands have been fully met and fully satisfied. All political and military figures in Venezuela
Not the
should
communist
understand
dictator.
what happened to Maduro can happen to them, and it will happen to them if they aren't just fair,
Dude, yes.
even to their people.
Oh, my
The
God. If you
dictator
weren't
and
fair to your own
terrorist,
people.
Maduro
W.
is finally gone in Venezuela.
The whole world is just
People
on their
are free.
toes right now.
They're free again.
He's
A
right.
long time for them, but they're free. America is a safer nation. This morning, it's a prouder nation this morning because it didn't allow
Straight fact, by the way.
this horrible person and this
everyone
country that
crying,
was
Literally, your
doing very
tears make
bad
me
things
happy.
to us. It didn't allow it to happen. And the Western Hemisphere is right now a much safer place to
Straight
be. So I
facts.
want to thank everybody for being here.
Dude, massive,
I want to
massive
thank
W.
General Raisin Kane. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's insane.
Man, I've worked with a lot of generals. I worked with some I
guy's
didn't
crazy.
like. I worked with some I didn't respect. I worked with some that just weren't good. But this guy is fantastic. I watched last night one of the most precise attacks on sovereignty. I mean, it was an attack for justice. And I'm very proud of him, and I'm very proud of our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who I'm going to ask to say a few words. Thank you very much.
All right. No, that's crazy. What massive W, by the way.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finally, a commander-in-chief the world respects. and the American people deserve. And as the president said, words can barely capture the bravery and the power and the precision of this historic operation. A massive joint military and law enforcement raid flawlessly executed by the greatest Americans our country has to offer.
W.
American warriors are second to none. The best in the world and the best of our country.
True.
What all of us witnessed last night,
and none of them are fat, and none of them are gay.
Gallantry.
They're all men.
Of the
They're
American
6'2".
warrior. I'm simply humbled by such men. And I tip my hat to our chairman, Dan Raisin Kane, and all those Americans who stood watch last night. Our warriors are the elite of America, and again, President Trump has your back. No other country on planet Earth, and it's not even close, could pull this kind of operation off. And no other president has ever shown this kind of leadership.
He's right. He's
courage,
not wrong.
And
That's
resolve.
Right.
The most powerful combination
10-year war
the world has ever seen.
30,000 troops on the ground. None of that garbage,
As the president
bro.
said, our adversaries remain on notice. America can project our will anywhere, anytime.
That's right.
The coordination, the stealth, the lethality, the precision, the very long arm of American justice, all on full display in the middle of the night. Nicolas Maduro had his chance, just like Iran had their chance, until they didn't and until he didn't. He effed around, and he found out.
There it is, baby.
President Trump is deadly serious about stopping the flow of gangs and violence to our country. Deadly serious about stopping the flow of drugs and poison to our people. Deadly serious about getting back the oil that was stolen from us.
There it is.
And deadly serious about reestablishing
But what
American
if it's about the oil?
deterrence
W,
and
we
dominance
get more oil.
in the Western Hemisphere.
What are you complaining about?
This is about the safety, security, freedom, and prosperity of the American people.
Yeah.
This is America first.
Yeah, facts.
This
Straight facts.
is peace through strength.
Straight facts.
And the United States
right.
War Department is proud to help deliver it.
So am I. The retard department salutes you.
2026.
That's me.
And under President Trump,
that was me.
America is back. I'd like to welcome now our Chairman Raisin Kane, to give a few more details about the operation.
All right, let's go. No, dude, this was such a huge W. It's crazy.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning. Last night, on the order of the President of the United States, and in support of a request from the Department of Justice, as the President said, the United States military conducted an apprehension mission in Caracas, Venezuela, to bring to justice two indicted persons, Nicolas and Cecilia Maduro.
That's right. This is called
operation,
extradition
known
treaty.
as Operation
It's
Absolute
legal.
Resolve, was discreet,
That's my opinion.
precise, and conducted during the darkest hours of January 2nd, and was the culmination of months of planning and rehearsal, an operation that, frankly, only the United States military could undertake.
88-minute-long
What I'd like
operation.
to do this morning is talk to you through some of the preparation and the details without compromising any of our tactics, techniques, and procedures.
All right.
There is always a chance that we'll be tasked to do this type of mission again.
Looking
Our
at you.
interagency work began months ago and built on decades of experience of integrating complex air, ground, space, and maritime operations.
Putin shaking in
While
his
the
boots.
past 2 decades have honed the skills of our special operations forces, this particular mission required every component of our joint force, with soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians working in unison with our intelligence agency partners and law enforcement teammates in an unprecedented operation. We leveraged our unmatched intelligence capabilities and our years of experience in hunting terrorists. And we could not have done this mission without the incredible work by various intelligence agencies, including the CIA, NSA, and NGA.
Love that.
We watched, we waited, we prepared, we remained patient and professional. This mission was meticulously planned, drawing lessons from decades of missions over the last many years, many missions over these last many years. This was an audacious operation that only the United States could do. It required the utmost of precision and integration within our joint force.
Dude, this is why we have a
And the
military.
word integration does not explain the sheer complexity of such a mission.
an extraction so precise it involved more than 150 aircraft launching across the Western Hemisphere in close coordination, all coming together in time and place to layer effects for a single purpose, to get an interdiction force into downtown Caracas
that they did it, man.
while maintaining the element of tactical surprise. Failure of one component of this well-oiled machine would have endangered the entire mission, and failure is never an option for America's joint force. Those in the air over Caracas last night were willing to give their lives for those on the ground and in the helicopters. Let me talk a little bit about the preparation. After months of work by our intelligence teammates to find Maduro and understand how he moved, where he lived, where he traveled, what he ate, what he wore, what were his pets, in early December, our force was set pending a series of aligned events. Key was choosing the right day to minimize the potential for civilian harm and maximize the element of surprise and minimize the harm to the indicted personnel, so as the president said, they could be brought to justice. And as the president said earlier today, weather in Venezuela is always a factor this time of the year. And over the weeks through Christmas and New Year's, the men and women of the United States military sat ready, patiently waiting for the right triggers to be met and the president to order us into action. Last night, the weather broke just enough, clearing a path that only the most skilled aviators in the world could maneuver through. Ocean, mountain, low cloud ceilings. But when tasked with a mission, this organization does not quit. At 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time last night, the president ordered the United States military to move forward with this mission. He said to us, and we appreciate it, Mr. President, good luck and Godspeed. And those words were transmitted to the entire joint force. Over the course of the night, aircraft began launching from 20 different bases on land and sea across the Western Hemisphere. This was like an actual
world record, dude.
In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night. Thousands and thousands of hours of experience were airborne. Our youngest crew member was 20, and our oldest crew member was 49. And there's simply no match for American military might. As the night began, the helicopters took off with the extraction force, which included law enforcement officers, and began their flight into Venezuela at 100 feet above the water. As they approached Venezuelan shores, the United States began layering different effects provided by Spacecom, Cybercom, and other members of the interagency to create a pathway. Overhead, those forces were protected by aircraft from the United States Marines, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and the Air National Guard. The force included F-22s, F-35s, F-18s, EA-18s, E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones. As the force began to approach Caracas, the Joint Air Component began dismantling and disabling the air defense systems in Venezuela, employing weapons to ensure the safe passage of the helicopters into the target area.
Dude, this is
the goal of our air component was, and always will be, to protect the helicopters and the ground force and get them to the target and get them home. As the force crossed the last point of high terrain where they'd been hiding in the clutter, we assessed that we had maintained totally the element of surprise.
Dude, retards
as the helicopter force ingressed towards the objective at low level, we arrived at Maduro's compound at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2:01 a.m. Caracas local time, and the apprehension force descended into Maduro's compound and moved with speed, precision, and discipline towards their objective, and isolated the area to ensure the safety and security of the ground force while apprehending the indicted persons. On arrival into the target area, the helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit but remained flyable, and as the president said earlier today, all of our aircraft came home, and that aircraft remained flyable during the rest of the mission. As the operation unfolded at the compound, our air and ground intelligence teams provided real-time updates to the ground force, ensuring those forces could safely navigate the complex environment without unnecessary risk. The force remained protected by overhead tactical aviation. Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into custody by the Department of Justice, assisted by our incredible U.S. military with professionalism and precision, with no loss of U.S. life. After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure.
Every time.
Helicopters were called in to exfiltrate the extraction force, while fighter aircraft and remotely piloted aircraft provided overhead coverage and suppressive fire. Damn. There were multiple self-defense engagements as the force began to withdraw out of Venezuela. The force successfully exfiltrated and returned to their afloat launch bases, and the force was over the water at 3:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with indicted persons on board.
88-minute war.
Maduro and his wife were embarked aboard the USS Iwo Jima. In closing, what we've witnessed today is a powerful demonstration of America's joint force. We think, we develop, we train, we rehearse, we debrief, we rehearse again and again,
is evil.
Not to get it right, but to ensure that we cannot get it wrong.
Leave my communist dictator alone.
Our jobs are to integrate combat power so when the order comes, we can deliver overwhelming force at the time and the place of our choosing against any foe anywhere in the world.
Get rid of
I am immensely proud today of our joint force.
Me too.
And filled with
proud to be an American.
To represent
God
them
bless
here
America.
today.
That's my
There
opinion.
is simply no mission too difficult for these incredible professionals and the families that stand by them and support them. As we stand here this morning, our forces remain in the region at a high state of readiness, prepared to project power, defend themselves, and our interests in the region. This operation is a testament to the dedication and unwavering commitment to justice and our resolve
and
to
to
hold
everyone that
accountable
thinks this was bad,
those who threaten peace and stability. In closing, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women who executed this mission.
Don't listen to the haters.
Their courage and tireless commitment to our nation are what makes us strong.
Every
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Every
and thank
Saturday.
You, Mr. President.
Say Shabbat Shalom and bomb some motherfuckers. All right.
Well, I don't have much to add to what you've heard now.
He's the new president of Venezuela, by the way.
Nicolas Maduro was indicted in 2020 in the United States.
That's right.
He is not the legitimate president of Venezuela.
That's
not just us saying it.
Yeah, he's
the first Trump administration, the Biden administration, the second Trump administration, none of those three recognized him. He's not recognized by the European Union and multiple countries around the world. He is a fugitive of American justice.
That's right.
With a $50 million
we did
reward.
Our job.
Which I guess we saved $50 million. And yeah, exactly. But
don't let anybody claim it.
Yo, everyone's complaining about wasting money, bro.
But I want to be clear.
People complaining about wasting money on this. We saved 50 mil by capturing him ourselves.
He was provided multiple very generous offers and chose instead to act like a wild man, chose instead to play around.
That's right.
And the result is what we saw tonight.
Yeah, you fucked around.
The other message here is the following. You have a guy, like many people around the world, they like to play games. You have a guy who decides he's going to invite Iran into his country, is going to, do the confiscation of American oil companies, is going to flood our country with gang members, is going to take Americans prisoner and try to hold them for hostage and trade them like he was able to do with the Biden administration. Basically likes to play games all this time and thinks nothing's going to happen. And I hope what people now understand is that we have a president. The 47th president of the United States is not a game player. When he tells you that he's going to do something, when he tells you he's going to address a problem,
I love a good madman.
He actions it.
That's right.
I can tell you, I've watched this process now for 14, 15 years, been around it. Everybody talks. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. When I get there, we're going to do this. We're going to take... This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know.
Arrest the mayor.
This is the way it's going to play out, and I think people need to understand that this is not a president that just talks and does letters and press conferences.
Chicago.
And, if he says he's serious about something, he means it. And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States, and the president addressed it. There's a president of peace, by the way. I told you what I just said earlier. This guy had multiple opportunities to find his way somewhere else and figure out another. He could have been living somewhere else right now, very happy, but instead he wanted to play big boy. And so now he's got other sets of problems on his hands.
But we're the big boy.
And but I think the message here should be for the world. Look, the president doesn't go out looking for people to pick fights with. He's not generally wants to get along with everybody. We'll talk and meet with anybody, but don't play games. Don't play games with this president's in office, because it's not going to turn out well. And so I hope that I guess that lesson was learned last night, and we hope it'll be instructive moving forward.
Yeah.
Mr. President.
It'll be instructive.
Please. Well, we're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're going to rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil companies directly. They will be reimbursed for what they're doing.
Our tax dollars are going to Somalia, so we can't afford it.
And we're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be. As you know, it was just a minor flow. It was actually a minor flow for what they have. But we're going to run it properly, and we're going to make sure the people of Venezuela are taken care of. We're going to make sure the people that were forced out of Venezuela by this thug are also taken care of.
All right.
President, does the U.S. running the country mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, they always say boots on the ground. So we're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to have. We had boots on the ground last night at a very high level, actually. We're not afraid of it. We don't mind saying it. But we're going to make sure that country is run properly.
Look,
I'm not
a fan of instilling like a large force there.
This is an attack that could have gone very, very badly. Could have gone very badly. We could have lost a lot of people last night. We could have lost a lot of dignity. We could have lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but we could have lost a lot. And we're going to make sure that this is proper. We're there now. We're ready to go again if we have to. We're going to run the country right. It's going to be run very judiciously, very fairly. It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money to the people. We're going to reimburse people that were taken advantage of.
That's right.
We're going to take care of everybody. It's very important. We couldn't let them get away with it. They stole our oil. We built that whole
it's ours.
industry.
It's ours. Why? Because we want it.
They just took it over like we were nothing. Built it. And we had a president that decided not to do anything about it.
Fuck them. Fuck China.
We did something.
China and Iran and Russia are all like crying right now that this happened, but we're becoming very rich over this.
You're going to run the country. Are you going to designate a U.S. official to coordinate?
Yes, it's all being done right now. We're designating people. We're talking to people. We're designating various people, and we're going to let you know who those people are.
Marco Rubio is going to be the next Shah of Iran.
Would run Venezuela.
Well, it's largely going to be for a period of time. The people that are standing right behind me.
Literally, Rubio.
We're going to be bringing it back. It's a dead. I talk about a dead country. A year and a half ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're a country doing better than any country anywhere in the world.
He's right.
And it required leadership. Venezuela has a lot of bad people in there, a lot of bad people that shouldn't be leading. We're not going to take a chance that one of those people take over for Maduro. So you can look at, and others, we have fantastic people, including people in the military. So we're going to have a group of people running it until such time as it can be put back on track, make a lot of money for the people, and give people a great way of life, and also reimbursement for people in our country that were forced out of Venezuela.
Reimbursing it to us.
Rubio would be...
You said earlier today that you weren't going to back Machado to come back and be the opposition leader in your Fox and Friends interview. And then you also mentioned the vice president of Venezuela. Are you going to work with the vice president of Venezuela, or how do you foresee the relationship going?
I understand she was just sworn in, but she was, as you know, picked by Maduro. So Marco's working on that directly. He just had a conversation with her, and she's essentially willing to do what we think is necessary to make Venezuela great again. Very simple.
Hey, bro, you kidnapped the dictator, and the vice president is happy to play ball.
A couple weeks ago, he said he's got to watch his ass.
in today, he said he's not concerned about anything happening to him in the aftermath of this operation. So just what your message is about that.
Well, he has cocaine mills. He has factories where he makes cocaine. And, yeah, I think I stick by my first statement. He's making cocaine. They're sending it into the United States. So he does have to watch his ass.
Oh, my God.
Mr. President, did you notify any members of Congress in advance?
Marco, do you want to talk about that? Because you were involved in it.
Sure. We call members of Congress immediately after. This was not the kind of mission that you can do congressional notification.
Terrible,
it was
terrible question.
A trigger-based mission in which conditions had to be met night after night.
Why didn't you tell people beforehand?
We monitored that for a number of days.
Are you retarded?
So it's just simply not the kind of mission you can call people and say, hey, we may do this at some point in the next 15 days.
100%.
But it's largely a law enforcement function. Remember, at the end of the day, at its core,
the Congress people would have literally warned the guy.
Fugitives of American justice, and the Department of War supported the Department of Justice in that job. Now, there are broader policy implications here, but it's just not the kind of mission that you can pre-notify because it endangers the mission.
Of course, it endangers the troops.
Plus, if I could add one thing to that, Congress has a tendency to leak.
True.
This would not be good. If they leaked, General, I think it would have been maybe a very different result. But I have to say, they knew we were coming at some point, you know. A lot of ships out there, they sort of knew we were coming. We went through. But Congress will leak, and we don't want leakers.
He's right. He's completely right. There are people in Congress
to watch this all play out live
that don't ally with America.
When the U.S. forces entered what I assume would be his home, and also was there any point where the U.S. was considering if Maduro pushed back or resisted killing Maduro?
It could have happened. It could have happened. He was trying to get into a safe place. You know what a safe place is, all steel. And he wasn't able to make it to the door because our guys were so fast. They went through the opposition so fast. And there was a lot of opposition. You know, people were wondering, do we get them by surprise? Sort of surprised, but they were waiting for something. It was a lot of opposition. There was a lot of gunfire. You saw some of it today.
Damn,
but
and no
he
one
was trying
killed,
to get to
God.
a safe place,
no American was killed.
which wasn't safe because we would have had the door blown up in about 47 seconds, they say on average, regardless of how thick the steel was.
My God.
It was a very thick door. It was a very heavy door, but he was unable to get to that door. He made it to the door. He was unable to close it.
Damn.
Go ahead, finish.
To be in the time being right now, do you know his exact
Well,
whereabouts?
eventually, ultimately, in the near future, he's going to be brought to New York.
And where is he going to be held? Where is he going to be held in New York? Do you know?
That's going to be up to the officials that do these things.
Mr. President, the U.S. has something of a mixed track record of ousting dictators without necessarily a plan for what comes afterwards.
Not with
Did
me.
that weigh on your decision?
Well, that's why we had different presidents, but with me, that's
true.
not
That's a good point. He makes a good point.
We've had a perfect track record of winning. We win a lot, and we win. If you look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, you look at the Midnight Hammer. Midnight Hammer was incredible. Right now, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. We have essentially peace in the Middle East because of that. If we weren't successful with Midnight Hammer, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. So, with me, you've had a lot of victory. You've had only victories. You've had no losses. Yeah.
How long?
I'm good. I'm great. They're gay. Moving on.
And how soon do you want Venezuelan people to hold elections?
So I'd like to do it quickly, but it takes a period of time. You know, we're rebuilding. We have to rebuild their whole infrastructure. The infrastructure is rotted. It's actually very dangerous. It's blow-up territory. Oil is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing to take out of the ground.
It's a PvP server. We don't like it there.
It can kill a lot of people. It has killed a lot of people doing just that. The infrastructure is old. It's rotted. Much of it is stuff that we put there 25 years ago, and we're going to be replacing it. And we're going to take a lot of money out so that we can take care of the country. Yeah.
Are you saying that Secretary Rubio and
Mr. President, China, Russia, and Iran have interests in Venezuela. Yeah. How does this operation affect your relationships with them when it comes to the oil and drugs?
And Russia, Russia when we get things straightened out. But in terms of other countries that want oil, we're in the oil business. We're going to sell it.
Oh, that's right, baby. That's our business now.
We'll be selling oil, probably in much larger doses because they couldn't produce very much because their infrastructure was so bad.
This is
so we'll
huge,
be selling
man. It's
large
good for
amounts
literally
of oil
everyone.
To other countries.
You got to be retarded to be against
this now, but I would say many more will come.
Are you saying that, Mr. President, are you saying that...
Mr. President, thank you. What is your message to the people of Venezuela today? Of course, the civilian
population specifically, they have a lot of questions. What is your message to the people of Venezuela?
That you're going to have peace, justice. You're going to have some of the riches that you should have had for a long period of time was stolen from you.
Under communism,
you're going to have peace and you're going to have safety.
Poor.
You're going to have justice. You're going to have a country. You're going to have a real country. You're going to have potentially a great country. You know, if you go back 20 years, maybe even a little longer ago, that was a great country, and they destroyed it. Remember I said that if we lose this election, the United States will be Venezuela on steroids. That's what would have happened. Had we lost the election, the 2024 election, we suffered so badly. When you look at the border from 2020, what they did, what Joe Biden administration did to our country should never be forgotten.
Agreed.
But if we had to go through another year of that, we wouldn't have. We would be exactly where Venezuela was in terms. I used to say, if they win, we're going to be Venezuela on steroids, and that's what would have happened.
President, thank you. Are you saying that Secretary Hegseth and Rubio are going to be running Venezuela, and will you be sending in U.S. military troops to provide? They're going to be a team
that's working with the people of Venezuela to make sure that we have Venezuela right. Because for us to just leave, who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over. You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro. And right now she's the vice president, and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn in as president just a little while ago. She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, we'll do whatever you need. I think she was quite gracious. But
I'm sure she was.
She really doesn't have a choice.
She doesn't want to wake up in a New York prison. Right.
We're not going to just do this with Maduro, then leave like everybody else, leave and say, let it go to hell. If we just left, it has zero chance of ever coming back. We'll run it properly. We'll run it professionally. We'll have the greatest oil companies in the world.
I'm not a big fan of the U.S.-installed governments.
And take out money. Use that money in Venezuela.
I give Trump a shot.
And the biggest beneficiary are going to be the people of Venezuela. And also, I can't stress this strongly enough, the people that got thrown out of Venezuela that are now in the United States.
Venezuela is celebrating today all day.
Probably want to go back,
They're celebrating in the streets.
In the country, and were any of the detained Americans?
Well, right now they're very protected because nobody's going to mess with us. They're very protected. The people of, and we let them know that you better not touch one of them.
Are you concerned that bad elements of the Maduro regime will remain in place?
Well, we know who they are. We're on them, and they're acting much differently now than they would have acted 2 days ago. Okay, wait, behind you, please.
Yeah, why is running a country in South America America first?
Well, I think it is because we want to surround ourselves with good neighbors. We want to surround ourselves with stability.
They're flooding us with drug dealers.
We want to surround ourselves with energy. We have tremendous energy in that country. It's very important that we protect it.
And also, we're going to get rich.
We need that for ourselves. We need that for the world. And we want to make sure we can protect it.
Yeah, it's such an obvious
answer.
Yes, sir.
Please, go ahead.
Yeah, is there a message here for Cuba and Diaz-Canel?
Well, Cuba is an interesting case. Cuba is, not doing very well right now.
Yeah, it's communist.
That system has not been a very good one for Cuba. The people there have suffered for many, many years. And I think Cuba is going to be something we'll end up talking about because Cuba is a failing nation right now, very badly failing nation. And we want to help the people. It's very similar in the sense that we want to help the people in Cuba, but we want to also help the people that were forced out of Cuba and living in this country. Do you want to say something about that, Marco, please?
Well, I mean, I just gave you a statement a few minutes ago about, when the president speaks, you should take him seriously. So suffice it to say, Cuba is a disaster. It's run by incompetent, senile men and in
communist
some cases,
dictators.
Yeah, not senile, but incompetent nonetheless. It has no economy. It's in total collapse. And by the way, they were, all of the guards that helped protect Maduro, this is well known, their whole spy agency, all that were full of Cubans. I mean, it's amazing. This poor island took over Venezuela in some cases. One of the biggest problems the Venezuelans have is they have to declare independence from Cuba that tried to basically colonize it from a security standpoint. So, I mean, I lived in Havana and I was in the government.
It's the communist-installed drug regimes.
Well, the president already announced a week ago that anything that's sanctioned, it's sanctioned oil, it's not going to be allowed to get there. So that's a pre-existing.
The answer is yes. Yes.
We might fuck them up too. No promises.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
Mr. President.
Mr. President, on Monday...
Oh, I think it would be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within, or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect to be the leader.
Mr. President, is it possible that the U.S. ends up administrating Venezuela for years?
Well, it won't cost us anything because the
never know
money coming out of the ground is very substantial, so it's not going to cost us anything. We want safety there. We want to be surrounded by countries that aren't housing all of our enemies all over the world. That's what that was happening, and
totally right.
You don't want to have that.
Total hemispheric
but we're going
dominance.
To be rebuilding, and we're not spending money. The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago. A lot of money is coming out of the ground. We're going to get reimbursed for all of that. We're going to get reimbursed for everything that we spend. So it's going to be a very important. This is a very big evening that took place last night. We have to be surrounded by safe, secure countries, and we also have to have energy. Very important. We have to have energy that's real energy, not where they're getting 4% and 5% of the energy out of the ground.
It's such an unbelievable bubble. It's incredible that people are mad.
So what's going to happen with Venezuela, I think, over the next period of a year, is going to be a great thing, and the people of Venezuela will be the biggest beneficiaries.
Yeah.
U.S. military.
Mr. President, thank you. What did you last speak to Maduro about when you spoke? And is the
Well, I don't want to get into the conversations, but I did have conversations with him, and I said,
"You're gay.
You got to surrender."
Oh.
And I actually thought he was pretty close to doing so, but now he wished he did. Yeah.
You said that Maduro is responsible for drug trafficking. You recently pardoned the former president of Honduras, who was convicted of many drug trafficking. Can you explain how these two situations are different? And would you ever pardon Maduro?
I endorsed, as you know, the winning president, the man who won in Honduras. I endorsed the man who won in Chile. I endorsed the man who won in Argentina. And we are doing very well with that whole group. What the man that I pardoned was, if you could equate it to us, he was treated like the Biden administration treated a man named Trump. That didn't work out too well for them. This was a man who was persecuted very unfairly. He was the head of the country. He was persecuted very unfairly. And there are a number of them. And we felt that it was a very unfair situation that happened to him. He's also a party member of the man who won. So obviously the people liked what I did. Yeah. And one of the reasons that was done is because of the fact that the party in power felt very strongly that that man was treated very badly. I studied it very quickly, and then I studied it in great detail. I went to a lot of the people standing behind me, and they felt that that man was persecuted and treated very badly. That's why I gave him a pardon.
All right.
You referenced boots on the ground earlier. Can you just sort of button this up? Do you envision the U.S. military having a presence in Venezuela as the U.S. runs that country?
No, we're going to have a presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil, because we have to have, we're sending
our
expertise.
A great answer.
So you may need something.
For
not
our
very
finances,
much,
yes.
But no, we're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground.
That's
and
right.
that wealth is going to the people of Venezuela and people from outside of Venezuela.
They get their
that used to
country
be
back.
in Venezuela.
We make lots of money.
And it goes also to the United States of America
No
in
more
the
drug
form
dealers.
of reimbursement for the damages
That's right, you're
caused us
welcome.
by that country. So I want to thank you all very much. Thank you. Do you have one? Yes, please.
Beautiful.
You were so nice before. I'm going to give you the final question. Go
Thank
ahead.
you, Mr.
Unless
President.
it's a bad question, in
It's
which
about
case I'll
Putin.
go one word. It's about who?
It's about
I
Putin,
love this guy.
if you want.
About Putin. Well, that's always nice
You had
to
a phone.
talk about Putin.
You had a phone call with him
Yeah.
on Monday. Did he talk at all about Maduro? Did y'all talk about this?
No, we didn't.
And
We
then-
never spoke about Maduro.
Are you mad at him right now? I mean, there's this
I'm not
intelligence.
thrilled with Putin.
Are you mad at
I'm
him?
not thrilled with Putin. He's killing too many people. I thought that would be so. I settled 8 1/4 war. You know what the 1/4 was? Thailand and Cambodia. I did it again. They broke out, and I did it in about 5 hours, and I settled
Bro,
it.
I
I'm
didn't
giving
even know
myself
about this.
1/4, so I'm up to now 8 1/4. In other words, I settled the war, but then they broke out. They had a pretty bad breakout over the last 4 days. I got them to go back to peace. So I only give 1/4. I thought the easiest one would be, one of the easier ones would be Russia, Ukraine. It's not. And they both have done some pretty bad things. And look, that's Biden's war. That's not my war. but I want to stop the lives. Did you see where last
Never would have
month,
started if I was
30,000, this last, it was 27,000 the month before. 30,000, mostly soldiers, were killed this last month. 30,000. I want to stop that. You know, I got NATO to pay 5% instead of the 2% that they weren't paying. They weren't paying 2, now they pay 5. And we send them a lot of munitions. We send them a lot of things, missiles and various other things, a lot. And they pay. The United States is not losing money. We're probably making money on that. It's the last thing I care about. I just want to stop all those people. We're losing 25, 30,000 human beings. They come from 2 places that are very far away. But if I can stop, because it's something I've been pretty good at doing, deals, I guess. It's all a deal. Life is a big deal. But if I can stop that war and stop 30,000 young people, in addition to the fact that people are being killed in Kiev, people are being killed in other cities throughout, you know, a much smaller number, but they're being killed, viciously killed. So I'm not happy about it. I thought that would be something that would get solved. We have Mr. Witkoff here. I think that we're making progress, but that's a war that should have never happened. If I were president, it would have never happened. Putin says it. Everybody says it. If I were president, that would have never happened. But I inherited that war. That was Joe Biden, Zelensky, and Putin. I came into the situation, and it's a mess. And I will say this. I watched an operation last night that was so precise, that was so brilliant. I mean, it was incredible. If we had
Putin must be shitting
people like
himself
this
right now.
general and our people involved, that war would not have gone on very long, that I can tell you. That war, to use an old term, that war has become a bloodbath, and we want it to get stopped. Thank you very much, everybody.
Damn. Nah, that's huge. What an insane fucking day. What a wild day. Dude, everyone's actually crashing out. Zelensky is apparently asking Trump to do to Putin what he did to Maduro. Yeah, like, you could do that to a nuclear-armed nation as easily as to these guys. No, it's a really, really scary situation. Scary world. The reality is America's great. Definitely subscribe for more America, because that's what we do here. Super clean. We're going to be looking at everyone's crash outs tomorrow because that sounds very fun. But dude, the actual meltdowns is insane. People on the left losing their mind. Like, you got some of these people on the right. They call themselves anti-war, which is honestly a gay term. I'm not going to lie. That term sucks. Everyone's anti-war. Sometimes it's unfortunately necessary. And also, if you call this a war, your threshold for war is in the toilet, okay? This was an 88-minute-long war, okay, where we didn't lose a single soldier. We liberated an entire nation. We are making billions of dollars. We stopped drugs pouring into our country and gangbangers pouring into our country. Never forget that Obama dropped 26,000 illegal airstrikes while he was president, and no one gave a shit about any of that. But Trump is literally saving hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of lives through his actions. And literally everyone's losing their mind, mostly because obviously it's from the anti-American part of the left is where most of this is coming from. You know, the Zohran Mamdani, Hasan Piker, Mehdi Hasan, Anna Kasparian. Literally, it's the Islamic left. It's the Islamic left that's having meltdowns here because Iran's homie and China's homie, Venezuela, is now going to become an American port. It is now going to become one of America's in the oil business now, haven't you heard? So, to everyone watching, thank you for being here. International law is fake. My new politics are, I don't give a shit, fuck you. And also, most importantly, we could just do things. If you disagree with any of these stances that I've mentioned, you have the right, but you're probably a very deeply unhappy person that's not fun to be around. We're sending the Somalis to Venezuela. It's gonna be great. They're gonna make Venezuela incredible. It's gonna be beautiful. Somalis working in our oil fields. Okay, all right, we're getting too far.